Greetings, ladies. This is Kathy Washira. I'm back again. It's the same day I'm answering a question. A lady has sent a question saying she has a son who is over 10 years and she's getting married. And so she's asking for my advice. And I pray that she has the grace to receive this advice. As I'm answering her, I'm hoping that I can also answer one of us. And she's in Africa. Okay. One thing you have to understand, especially in Africa, even in Europe, even in America, I don't think it changes anywhere. We live in a patriarchal, but male controlled society. Patriarchal society. Male means when anytime you see a man or anytime there is a male child, it means there's someone has been born who is going to carry on with the family name. It is the male, and that is everywhere. That is why when I got married, I stopped using my father's name. Okay, I would have continued using my father's name as a lady. I immediately took over my husband's name. Is it a must? Yes or no? Both. Yes and no. It's not a must. Okay. Uh, the men don't take. I didn't marry my husband, then he takes my name. So the male, when you see a male figure, the male figure carries the family name, and that is why giving birth to a male child is of great significance. And also the reality of life is that women who have male children, single parents or single mothers with boys, uh, struggle a little bit more to get married. Why? Because sometimes when men see the boy, they are like, okay, what will I do with this boy? This is not my son, so where am I taking this boy, And I'm not saying that there are men who are men, they marry. Are you getting me? But in reality of life, okay, because here we are speaking the reality of life, there is a struggle for a single mother with boys to remarry or to get married. Okay, so understand we live in a patriarchal society and you have to accept that, because if you don't accept that, then you're going to be very shocked later, and I don't want you to be shocked. That is why I want to prepare you, just in case you see it, you will know when it is coming and you will have prepared yourself. Okay, I've watched a documentary on National Geographic, where when a male lion sees a female lion, a lioness, and it has children, and it wants to mate or it wants to take over that lioness, it first kills the children of the lioness, because our children are not his. He wants to have his own children. It is just something in the animal kingdom, and sometimes in the human kingdom, there are people who behave like that. Okay, now, and I'm praying that this lady is talking about getting married to a believer. Okay, someone who loves God is very nice, and they love God. They love God, but they have relatives. That is the problem. It's at the place in the relatives that the problems always erupt. Okay, so in other words, what I'm saying, the man, because he loves God, he will accept that the boy. He will accept, probably, hopefully, or he'll accept in the beginning, but later as the boy is becoming bigger, he's like, okay, this one is not my son. Are you getting me? But my prayer is that he accepts the boy. But it is the family, because in Africa there is what we call inheritance, and especially things to do with land, things to do with property. So it is normally, the problem normally comes in later. It is not in the initial stage. The initial stage, when this is still a boy, is still going to school, is growing up, you are having children with this other man. That there is not normally, at that time there is no problem. The problem now comes up later. Okay, that is where now the relatives will be like, now this one, this boy is not a son of this soil, so we cannot give him land here. Go look for the father. Or even now the children, when they're much older, they're like, you are not our brother, all those things. These things happen much later, and that, of course, my prayer is that it does not happen. That is my prayer, and I hope it doesn't happen. My prayer is that all of you live together happily, and my prayer is that you're discussing this issue already, because it is foolish to enter into a marriage with a child, whether boy or girl, with a man, and you've not discussed these issues of later. Okay, so what are we going to do? Because I think as you're getting married, you need to talk with this man. Where will my boy, this boy is here, what are we going to do? Because if he knows that he has a family that might challenge the issue, then he needs to help you, or both of you need to come find a way how you're going to help this boy get something for himself, so that there is no challenge, there are no challenges later. But as a mother, you as the mother of this boy, be wise. Be wise. Always invest for your son or your sons. Just, and I'm not saying I'm not saying that you hide from your husband the things you're doing. I'm even hoping you had already started investing way before you met this man, so that in the future, in case something comes up, your sons are safe. It is so wrong. It is so wrong for your children to grow up and then they realize they have nothing because the other side has decided you're not part of us. Let us be wise as women. That is the reality of life. That is the reality of life. The other day, that was about it was during Corona, about 3 years ago. Someone passed away. A man passed away, and the man doing very well. Unfortunately, I don't know whether anyway, he passed away. So when now he was going to be buried at home in his village, they refused. That is when the wife realized, oh, so this man I married was not even the son of this man. The father, the stepfather, of course, wanted to bury him, but the village, they refused. They said, this one is not ours. So there was I don't know how it ended, but I remember just listening to the story. How it ended, I don't know. You see, such things are so bad. This man has been with them. He grew up with them from the time he was a child. He's been helping this family. But now when it comes to the time of being buried, they're refusing. So to avoid those kind of things, what I would advise you, my sister who's getting married, son, put your house in order. Africans, let us learn to put our things in order so that we don't get shocks and surprises and things that, we are just always... let us not get some. Put your house in order. Understand that this man can be very good, and my prayer is that he's good. But maybe it's his family. Or the two of you can sit and decide, let us buy our own separate property that has nothing to do with ancestral property, so that we can organize our children in the future. Or better still, you help your children, because sometimes you can do that, but children, again, when they grow up, they can decide you are not our brother, and God forbid. But I'm just saying this because so that we are awakened. We stop living in I almost call it a fool's paradise. The reality of life, that things change as the years go. Sometimes things change, and most of the time things change. So be very, very aware of that. Take care. Put your house in order. That is all I can say. Just make sure you put your house in order so that you don't get shocked. Neither do you get surprised. These things can happen, and they do happen many times. So yeah, that is all I can advise you. When just know that your son is going to grow up, and you need to put your house in order. Just always have that card. Always have a card under the table that you can pull out in case things start looking funny. It might sound like it's not godly, but it's very, very godly. Be wise. Wisdom comes from God. That is wisdom, because the truth of the matter, and those are the consequences. Now, those are the consequences, because as I told you, when we do things out of the will of God, God forgives us, but sometimes there are consequences. There are consequences of having children out of wedlock. There are consequences, And the good thing is that the grace of God will always help you. The grace of God will help you to get property for your son. The grace of God will help you to get inheritance for your son. You will not have to depend on other. The grace of God is giving you wisdom right now to put your house in order so that you don't get shocked. It doesn't mean that you favor him more than the others. No, even as you're creating inheritance for your children that you're going to give birth, hopefully with this man. But also remember this one has nobody to defend them. So just that is all I can advise you. Just put your house in order. Don't enter that marriage like a fool. Be very, very wise. No, things change. As people grow older, things change. The man might be very nice, but his relatives might not be nice. They might decide, no, we are not burying strangers in this land. Let this go and look for the father to this boy. So that is the reality of life. And of course, my prayer is that it doesn't end that way. My prayer is that the two of you can sit down and create things for yourselves, things that no relative can come from outside to come and say, no, this is our property, or this is what, because it will be yours and your husband, and for you and your children. Yeah, I hope I've been able to answer you. Otherwise, it is possible You can get married with your son, and your son will be happy, but just be wise and put your house in order. God bless you.